Like a spider has moved into my car. Anyway, sorry I'm winded. I just got done tearing down this big tree in my backyard that had grown up around my air conditioning condenser. Whew, there, that's done. Anyway, we are back on this drop-off panel today. So what I need to do to get started, I need to finish up my cuts here. Then I'm going to try and make a template of all of this. I got some nice heavy paper there. Try and figure out where all these cuts need to be and then transfer them over to the new drop-off panel, then start trying to fit all this stuff in here. And I keep thinking about this back panel and what I want to do here. It's a little complicated because what I was thinking about before, spider still hanging out there. I was just going to put a piece of metal here that kind of went down to here just so the drop-off panel had something to tack onto there. But then I thought about it, the way it was set up before, since the quarter panel wrapped all around here and then was tacked into this tail panel here, that would lock the quarter panel in from being able to move this way. The way I have been envisioning it, if I only tack the drop-off panel here, then the quarter panel and the drop-off panel, this part, are floating here, which may or may not be a problem. So what I was thinking about is when I make this panel of putting just leave it kind of long, dangling off this direction here, and I can just sort of bend that back. And then once I have the quarter panel and the tail pan, drop-off panel and everything cinched up here, I can lay that one on there and spot weld that to the drop-off panel to keep it from moving around. But I don't know, I haven't decided that yet. The way it was done at the factory, I don't think I could reproduce something like that, because that would require the quarter panel to go in and then the drop-off panel to go in on top of that, and that just sounds really hard just because of the logistics of laying everything out. So I don't think I'm going to try that. Anyway, so let me finish cutting here and then make my template, and then we'll go from there. Alright, well, I lied. I didn't use a template after all. This piece was just so complicated that I couldn't really find a good way to use the template, so I just put the piece in there and started lining things and marking and cutting and cutting and marking, and I think we got it now. It's in a pretty good place. You can see better from over here what's going on up there. I just left the existing part of the panel there and just cut it there. I think that will work. Okay, so now I'm back to pondering this corner and what I want to do in here. As mentioned in the previous video, the quarter panel wrapped all the way around in through this area right here. The quarter panel replacement does not come with that piece. So I want to decide what to do there, and I'm thinking what I'll do. You see the top where those two cut marks are, that's where that piece was spot welded to the tail panel here. So I think what I want to do, sorry about that. So what I think I want to do is make that patch piece, which is going to go up to about there, and I'm going to weld it to the drop-off panel so that I can get all of that stuff back in there and potentially epoxied up and everything and ready to go. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to have it extend down over to this area. And, well, heck, if I'm going to do that, I can... Okay, I was saying before I could put a piece on there and leave it loose and then put it all together at the end. But I could actually weld all that together right now. I think I'll leave this part off though, just in case this thing needs to move around in or out or something at the back there. So once all of that's in with the quarter panel and everything, I'll have that piece of metal left over there, and then I can tack it onto that and lock that back corner. Because as I was mentioning, without that patch piece back there, the back corner of this down here is not attached to the car anywhere. So this piece can move in and out. So I think that's what that little piece was for, was to keep this piece of the quarter panel from flexing in or out. Okay, I think that makes sense. So then I need to decide if I want to get this thing all in epoxy before I put it in or after or what. So many choices on this thing. I'm kind of in a quandary here. I didn't want to do piece by piece epoxy. I wanted to do everything at once, but I may have to do this one separate just to get it done. Because it's going to be impossible to get any epoxy up inside here once I put all this together. So I may have to take a break and clean this thing up, get this epoxied. Yeah, let me at least get it cleaned up. Do that now. All right, got this guy all cleaned up. Got as much of the EDP off as I could. Hang it here, paint it. Got the little guy. That's the little patch piece that goes behind there, hanging up. And we're gonna go ahead and epoxy up this little corner right here where all that stuff goes. I'm not gonna do anything else with the rest of the car yet, so just that stuff. So I'm gonna crack out that new black epoxy that I haven't tried yet. So put some of that stuff on. Well, you guys sure make that process look easier than it is. Painting things hanging up like that. I've never done that before with things I can spin around. I did the subframe, but it didn't go anywhere when it was hanging up there. Especially this little guy. That was comical trying to paint that. Just flapping around like a leaf in the wind. But anyway, here is the new DPLV black epoxy. That looks tasty. There's a lot of trash in it because I didn't seal off the garage or anything. I just sprayed it with the door open because I didn't want to bother with all that today. But it came out good. Sorry, getting a lot of glare there. I got a big old run in it right here. No biggie. It looks good. I'm happy with it. So that guy's ready to be welded up. So next time I come back, it's going to be welding these two pieces together and then getting it in the car. So that's gonna do it for today. I'll probably be back out here, I don't know, Thursday or Friday, we'll see. It's gonna be not a lot of getting done this week. I have a lot of other things going on, but pretty happy with how that came out. So anyway, take it easy everybody, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.